So welcome to How to Trick Your Family and Your Friends and Your Husband into thinking you are the best homemaker ever, who cleans all the time, is the most organized person ever. But really, there's a secret, and that secret is you get to take naps daily. Okay, so I wanted this to be super lighthearted and fun. It is going to be, and it is 100% inspired by my grandparents. Okay, and I'm going to tell you the stories about them, but I just got off the phone with my dad. So before we get to the lighthearted part, I want to kind of drop something on you guys that might be a little bit heavy. I want you to know I'm not sad about it, so don't be sad for us. But my grandpa's very sick. I've told you guys about this before, in and out, like over the course of this group. We are here, says Shaylee. But I've told you that he's sick and he's on his way out. And basically I am waiting for the call to hear that he's passed. Okay. And that's okay. I'm at peace with it. And they inspire me. And I have built courses based on the things that I have learned from my grandparents. But this is what my grandpa said to my dad last night. I might cry. Sorry if I cry. This is what he said to my dad last night, and it hit me really hard because this is the type of life that I want to live. The doctors aren't letting him go home. He can't go back with my grandma. And what he said is, if I can't go home, I just want to die. So, I mean, that's really heavy, right? But that speaks volumes of what his home meant to him and the life that him and my grandma lived together. It was really good. It is really good. And I'm going to tell you what it was like being in their home as I grew up, because their home is what inspires me to make my home what it is today. So I know it's kind of heavy. This is supposed to be a really lighthearted and fun video, and it's going to be. So trust me, just give me a minute. But growing up, I spent a lot of time at my grandparents' house. They watched me while my parents worked. I went over there a lot of days, and their house was so fun to be in. Okay, my grandma was ahead of the times. I think she's a very wise lady, and her house was always clean. Okay, and it wasn't because she was cleaning all the time. My grandma literally took a nap every single day. And one of my first jobs was working with my grandma at an engineering company, and she even took naps at work on her lunch break. She had a little cot in her office, and she would take a nap. So it's not like she was putting all of this effort into her home. She just didn't have a whole lot of excess that made her life harder. Hang on, Kaylee just woke up. Hold on. It's always fun when I get to leave. But she just didn't have a whole lot of excess in her home, and her home was so easy to manage. It was always clean. It was fun to be in. It was easy to be in. It was inviting. It was a place that we could sit and play together. I always knew where my favorite toys were. They were easy to find. They were easy to put away. She was never griping at me to clean up after myself. Yes, the baby. She wasn't. It was so easy to be in her house. And looking back, it's because she was so intentional about what they had and what they kept and not having excess. And her house felt warm. Her house felt good to be in. Her house felt inspiring. As a child who spent a lot of time in that house, it felt, hey, innocent hiccups. It was one of my favorite places to be. And I know it wasn't just me who felt like that. I know that my grandparents loved their days together in that home together. I know that they had a good life in that house together. And that is reflected by the fact that my grandpa is saying, if I can't go home, just let me be. Right. And I think that speaks volumes. Okay. I think that's what everybody should be aspiring to. I think that's how your home should make you feel. Your home should be the place that you want to end up at the end of the day, no matter how hard your day is. Sorry guys, the windows, I'm like being blinded. Hang on. Right? So having a home that feels good doesn't happen by accident. Having a home that feels good that you actually want to be in doesn't happen because you have all your clutter in it. Okay. Having a home that's easy to maintain doesn't just happen. Okay. You don't have to spend hours and hours and hours. And my grandma is the one who taught me that. Okay. She took a nap literally every day. It's not like she took a 2-hour nap, but she would always go, she'd be like, bye, I'm going to go take my nap. And it would be like 20 minutes and she would go to her room and the world didn't come crashing down. The kids and I, or my siblings and I, would play just fine and put things away. And it was really, really easy. And that is the inspiration for my house. Okay. That to me is a house that feels like a home and a house that is functional and a house that works for your family. So I'm going to teach you guys kind of how to do that without spending hours and hours and hours in cleaning, because I never saw my grandma cleaning. The only time I ever saw her cleaning was on Saturday mornings when she was going through doing the bathtubs and scrubbing the dishes or not the dishes, baseboards and vacuuming and mopping and all that stuff. So I even asked her too, because this is something that I was wondering. I was like, maybe when I was a kid, I was like, maybe that's just what grandparents' houses are like. Maybe grandparents have this like special trick that they know. They know how to keep houses clean, or they can keep their house clean because there's not kids in it. And I know now that that's not true because I'll come back to your comment in just a second, Mary, but I know that that's not true because I figured out how to do it with my kids now. My kids get to live that now. And I don't have to wait to give that to my grandkids. Okay, my kids get to live that now. I'm not saying that it's perfect. I'm just saying that we ditched our clutter and it's pretty freaking simple. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that in a minute. But I asked my dad too, that's what I was trying to get at. I was like, did you guys always look like this? Like, was grandma's house always like this? And he was like, pretty much. I mean, we didn't have a whole lot of extra stuff and it was pretty easy to be in. It was pretty easy to clean. On Saturday mornings, we would spend 2 to 3 hours cleaning the house together. And that was it. Every night we would put our stuff away. We knew where it went. It was easy to find. And I was like, it's not just a grandparent thing. It's something that anybody can do. Anybody can do as long as you simplify it. So Mary says, this is amazing. Thank you for sharing. I'll be keeping all of this info close to my heart. Yeah. Let it inspire you. You don't have to live in an overwhelming home. You don't have to live in a cluttered space. There is freedom in ditching your clutter. And it's not only freedom. You can be like my grandpa and my grandma who are at the end of their life and they're like, I just want to be home. Okay, where I can be. Like, that's my place that feels good. That's where I want to be. And that kind of hits me really hard because my house used to be so overwhelming that I was literally escaping it. I was like, where can we go today? Let's go to Target. Let's go to the park. Let's go to the grocery store. Let's go anywhere but here because I don't want to deal with the chaos here, right? Like, that is not how I want my home to feel. And I don't want to speak for you, but if you're listening to this, I'm pretty sure you don't want your home to feel like that either. You want your home to feel like a place that holds your family with ease and happiness and simplicity and all of these good things. So, okay, so let's get to the part where we can talk about how you actually do this. So my friend, way back when we started this group, I can't even remember. I need to figure out when we actually started, like end of February, the beginning of March of 2018. Shaylee says, being a stay-at-home mom, this is how I'm feeling and I'm ready to let go. Yeah, let it go. Let it go. So we started this group back in like February or March of 2018. And my friend purged a bunch in a day. She just went crazy. She went to town. She like threw a bunch of stuff away. And her husband came home and said, oh my gosh, thank you so much for cleaning. And she was like, whoa, I didn't clean at all. Didn't clean at all. Because there's a difference. All she did was purge. Okay, cleaning is doing things like my grandparents did on Saturday mornings, scrubbing the bathtubs, mopping the floors, washing the baseboards, wiping the windows, the mirrors, the sinks. That is cleaning, okay? Purging is different. Purging is getting rid of all of the excess. And she was like, she had like this huge light bulb moment of like, oh, wow, like I don't need to be cleaning. I need to be purging. Like that's way more noticeable than cleaning. So let's talk about real quick the difference between cleaning and purging and why, if you want to be like this wizard homemaker, person who has a clean house all the time, you have to purge. And I'm going to tell you guys at the end of this how often I clean and how much time I spend cleaning because it's tiny. It's very, very little. Okay. It's fine. Can we hold you? rough waking up from your nap, huh? Oh, come here. So the difference between cleaning, or this is what cleaning is. Let's talk about like the definition of cleaning. Cleaning is all those things: scrubbing, wiping, vacuuming, mopping, putting things away. Okay, putting things away is different from purging. Putting things away at the end of the day. Hang on, guys. He's grumpy. Putting things away is like a form of organizing. Okay, you can't organize clutter, but you do have to put things away. That's something that you can do at the end of the day. And putting things away, you know, if you're spending your day cleaning and putting things away, what you're really doing is just shifting your clutter from room to room to room, and you're not really getting anything done. Yeah, on the surface, it's going to look like it's cleaned. It's going to look like you did a lot. But at the end of the day, that clutter is still there and you still have to manage it. And at some point, you're going to have to clean it up again. At some point, you're going to have to wipe it down. At some point, you're going to have to pay a lot of attention to it. It's going to make your house, your life way harder than it really needs to be. Okay, so there's a difference between cleaning and purging. Purging is way more effective than cleaning. Okay, it's way more noticeable than cleaning. And by purging, you don't have to clean as often. So that is what I learned from my grandma. Okay, she did not have excess. She did not have way too much. She had the essentials. She had things that she loved. She had toys that we loved. She had things to be creative with. She had things to be active with, like bikes, but it wasn't excess, and it was really easy to manage. And it made it so that she was like never clean, never. And I was always trying to like figure out like, how does grandma do this? Like, grandma must be a witch. She's got like magical powers, because I would go home to my home that was always a mess, always full of crap, always cluttered, always dirty, no matter how much we cleaned, no matter how much my mom nagged us, no matter how much she complained and threatened to throw our stuff away. It was never clean. And then there was my grandma's house, who was like, she didn't do any of that. It was effortless and it was always clean. It's because she purged. It's because she didn't have excess, because she was really intentional, hey, Jean, about the things that she kept, okay? So there is a difference. Now, I'm going to tell you guys how much time I spend cleaning every day and every week. And I'm not doing it to brag. I'm doing it to inspire you to ditch your clutter. Because guess what? I always have what I need. I always have exactly what I want. I always know where it is. It's not lost. It's easy to find. It's not broken. It's not buried. And okay, so anyway, it's so easy. Like, I'm just going to tell you all these things of why I hope that you get brave and ditch your clutter. So my nightly reset, if you guys have heard of that, my nightly reset takes me about 15 minutes. The nightly reset is putting things away. Okay. It's getting all the toys back where they belong. It's putting any of the dishes left over into the dishwasher. It's cleaning up any like random messes that the kids did throughout the day, because they like to do arts and they like to do crafts and they like to do science experiments. Takes me about 15 minutes. That's really all I do throughout the day. And my house is pretty clean. Okay, like I can have anybody drop by, any of the people who are in Idaho, if you want to come over. My house, I'm never going to have to be like running around frantically. Sorry if I flashed you guys. Frantically trying to clean up, trying to get ready for people to come over, or worrying about being embarrassed because they see all of my stuff everywhere. I don't have that. Like at most I'll be like, hang on, let me like wipe up the counters real quick because I'm cooking and there's food on it. But it's that easy. And it takes me that little time. 15 minutes a day. Shaylee, I'm pretty sure I flashed you, so I hope that's what you're laughing at. Sorry. But 15 minutes a day. Can you imagine how much ease it would be for you if that's all you had to do? Can you imagine how much time you would have to be with your kids, to play with your kids, to work out if that's what you want, to build a business if that's what you want to do, to hang out with your friends, to connect with your husband, to create something pretty, to decorate your house, to do whatever it is that fuels your soul. If you had all of that time, It's okay. We reset every night. Yeah. And so do we. We have to do it every night. We have to do it every night too. Otherwise it gets crazy, but that little reset makes the rest of the days and mornings so much easier. But that's my train of thought. So I have baby hands in my mouth. So that's it. That's it. Imagine how much time and energy and freedom. And if I wanted to take a nap every day, I could. And I just had a baby a year ago. Back when she was super teeny tiny, you better believe I was taking a nap during the day. I was taking naps during the day, and the world wasn't coming crashing down on me. The work in my house wasn't multiplying exponentially while I took that time for myself. I was living the life that my grandma modeled for me of being able to take care of my home, being able to take care of myself, being able to take care of the people that I love in a really, really easy way. Okay? That is why you need to declutter. Do you clean as you go, like after lunch, do the dishes and sweep the floor? We don't have a furry vacuum like Atlas. Atlas makes my life harder because when he helps, he ends up drooling all over it. But yeah, I do it as I go, especially like dishes. Once they're done eating, the kids bring them to the sink. I rinse and clean them. I'll either put them in the dishwasher or hand wash them real quick and put them away. It takes me like 3 minutes. So I do that as I go. I do the same thing with like pots and pans. I'll like at least rinse it so that it's not getting stuff stuck on there so that we have to throw it away because we left it for too long, right guys? Because we all know we've done that. But I usually do it as I go. And I will also do things like if the kids are doing like their science stuff, because they have a little science kit in the kitchen of like baking soda, vinegar, the stuff that gets messy. If they pull that out and don't clean it up and move on to like going and playing upstairs or outside, I will have them come back and clean that up before they move on, because otherwise it's just chaos. But we do little things like that as we go that take like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes in the moment, but really not that long. And I don't even notice it anymore. It's like, oh, we just have to clean this up real quick and then move on so that we can go to the next thing. I also do it kind of like right before we leave the house. I will do like a mini reset of like making sure that, things are put in at least somewhat order so that we're not walking into chaos. But again, those are little things that you do kind of on habit and on repeat that make the rest of everything easier. And when I look back on my grandma and how she did that witchcraft, wizardry, homemaking stuff, that's how she did it too. It was like, just as we go, like it's just part of life. It's just what we do. We take care of our things, we put it away, and that's it. So that's how much I do daily. Weekly, I'm going to tell you guys about cleaning now. So earlier we talked about the difference between cleaning and purging and actually doing kind of that intensive stuff, like 2 hours on a weekend. Okay, 2 hours on a weekend, I go through and in the Motherhood Simplified course, I teach you guys this system of, sorry guys, wow. Yeah, the only problem is it's only on one side. I teach you guys this cleaning system in the Motherhood Simplified course. I would tell you about it now, but it's like an hour of content and I don't have time for that right now. But 2 hours on the weekend, I spend deep cleaning the bathrooms, deep cleaning the rest of like wiping down baseboards, because everybody always asks about baseboards. I don't know why. Windows, scrubbing the sink, like cleaning out trash cans, like all those little things that you don't really ever think about. I have a system now, and like 2 hours a week is all I spend like truly cleaning my house. That's amazing. I mean, I think about that. I'm like, holy crap, like that's not a lot of time. Like that frees up so much more time for me to do the things that really matter to me. Okay, playing with my kids, going outside, going to the park, watching them play sports, watching sports with them, because my kids are really big football fans and they like to sit down on the couch on Sundays all day and watch football together. I can do that without all this stuff coming down around me and getting that much further behind. Okay, so the only big secret that I have for you guys really is ditch your clutter, ditch your excess. Okay, think about why you really want all this stuff. Do you want all this stuff because you spent money on it and you don't want to get rid of it? Do you want all this stuff because it makes it look like you have a really great life Do you want all this stuff because you think it's what makes your kids happy? It's what makes your kids feel loved? Like, why are you holding on to your clutter? Like, for real, like, what is the real reason? Because it's not going to be aligned with the life that you actually want for your kids. Okay. Because it's adorable stuff to wear. Deborah, just let it all go. Jean says, I do floors on Mondays and bathrooms on Mondays. It's easier for me to split up the time. Yeah, Jean, and that's a really good point too, because sometimes, and we talk about that in the course, Jean is in the course, but sometimes depending on your season of life and what you have going on, you got to break it up into other days. Right now, I used to break it up on other days, like Monday do this and Wednesday do this, but now it's a little bit easier for me to just like batch it, like one big session on Saturday. For the kids mostly. Yeah. And Savannah, the other thing about that is that less doesn't mean none. Just because you have less doesn't mean all of a sudden you have nothing cute to wear. You actually have a lot more because you can actually find it. You can actually keep it clean. You can actually take care of it. You can actually manage it. You're not stressed over it. You're not spending all of your time trying to sort it and wash it and find it and hang it and whatever else you're going to do with it. To manage it basically is what I'm saying. But my grandma is a little fashionista herself too. Like, you know, if you guys know Gianna Sensenig, my grandma is her all grown up. My grandma made all of her clothes. She is adorable all the time. And she's living that super simple life where she takes a nap every day and has the cutest clothes and has the best, cleanest, easiest house to be in. She nailed it. And Jean says, and actually have time to use it. Yeah, that's another thing, is that you actually have time to use your stuff now because you have the things that are actually important to you. So that's that's the big secret. If you want to trick your family and friends into thinking that you are a wizard homemaker, a witch homemaker, a magician, somebody who has like secret elves running around your house, keeping it clean for you all the time, purge your stuff. Okay, purge your stuff. She's a pie making unicorn. Gianna is, yeah, Gianna is a pie making unicorn. But any questions, guys? Any questions? I hope that you guys are asking yourself the big questions. For the people who jumped on later, at the beginning, I talked about why I'm talking about my grandparents so much, because they lived a really good life, and my grandpa is on his way out, and his home is really important to him. All he wants to do is be at home, and he's not allowed to go home because he's that sick. And he's like, if I can't go home, just let me die. Which sounds bad, but I know how much his home means to him. I know how good that was for my grandparents' relationship. I know how much time they got to spend together and enjoy their time together and enjoy each other's presence and enjoy the presence of their kids and be present for their kids and be present for their grandkids, which was me, because everything was simple. They weren't spending their time managing things. They weren't spending their time on things that didn't matter. They were spending time on the things that were really important to them, which were each other, which were themselves, which were their kids and their grandkids, and everything that goes along with that. They were the people that had invited people into their home if they didn't have anywhere to go, and they could do that with ease because they didn't have crap distracting them. They didn't have crap taking their time and their energy and their resources and their mental space. So if that's not the kick in your pants you need to get rid of your clutter, then I don't know what else to tell you, because that's it. That's it. Like, he's literally, I'm just gonna say it one more time, and that's it, and I'm gonna leave it. But he's literally on his deathbed, lived a great life, and is like, if I can't be home with my people, I have nothing else. So that's what your home should be. Okay, that is what your home should be. So I know that's kind of dramatic, maybe a little bit heavy. I don't know. That's my goal though. And I know that having a cluttered home doesn't allow me to get to the end of my life and feel like I did everything that I possibly could. Which is, that's it. Okay, so that's it. So I don't see any other comments. I am going to hang up, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye.